Hi, everyone. I want to introduce you to a product that I like to use called Gamma. I mentioned on your syllabus at the beginning of the semester that I would allow you to use a limited amount of artificial intelligence for this class, and Gamma is basically that product. You can also use Midjourney if you know how to use it. I'm not great with that. Midjourney is used to um, develop images and play around with it a little bit, but honestly, it's not that great. It's not that intuitive. And so I love Gamma. You'll probably recognize it when when I start showing you some examples, because I use this product for the note pages that I use for your class. Sometimes I use those to AI generate an outline for the notes. Sometimes I just create it all blank from scratch. You are not required to use Gamma for your semester project, but I do want to introduce it to you because I think it can make it significantly easier for you. So I just kind of want to show you what it can do. First of all, you've got your list of semester project details, your timeline requirements that are posted. So basically, your timeline should start with the 6 geographic regions of the state. It should have a section about pre-statehood, a section called Louisiana Purchase to Statehood, Civil War and Reconstruction, Agriculture and Industry, the Civil Rights Movement in Arkansas, the Clinton years, and then Arkansas today. So you have a number of categories that you'll need to include in this project. And the creative aspect of this is that you have some choices you can make throughout the project, so that every project won't be the same. It will all be very different. For those of you who are planning to go on into teaching, you'll have this outline ready for yourself so that when, if you're teaching Arkansas history, then you have a good outline for course material for you. That's the whole purpose of doing this. So let me introduce you to Gamma. Gamma is gamma.app, GAMMA.app. And it's free. You can start a free account. When you start your free account, you'll be given 400 free credits. Now, that's plenty to do this project. However, if you play around with it too much, or if you try to generate too much artificial intelligence with it, it's going to cut into your credits. So you want to focus on sticking to the project, get the project done. And then if you like Gamma and you want to play around with it later, then you can do that. I love it so much that I became a Gambassador. And that means I help beta test different products for this particular artificial intelligence program. Sorry, it's late and I'm having trouble talking. So let me show you how this works. I've gone to my Gamma workspace here, and I'm going to use the AI feature and just say create new. And it's going to pop up and it's going to say, what do you want to start? Now, so I may see stuff a little differently than you see, so don't worry about that too much. Like I said, I am beta testing. So I want to just choose generate because we're starting from scratch here. So it tells me, hey, I'm your AI design partner. What would you like to create today? So you can choose any of these that you want. You can make this as a presentation, as a document, or a web page. Honestly, the documents don't look that great, but you can try it. Maybe you can make it look great. I would choose either presentation or web page just for the sake of sticking with something familiar. I'm going to choose presentation. So now it says, hey, what do you want your presentation to be about? I'm going to put a timeline of Arkansas history. Now, I realize you may all have that very prompt, a timeline of Arkansas history. You may say a timeline for Arkansas history or an Arkansas history timeline. However you want to word it, that's fine. But basically, you're giving us a timeline of Arkansas history. So I've typed that in, and now I'm going to click enter. And it says, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. Here are some ideas. And it tells me prehistoric Arkansas, exploration and native influence, settlement and growth, civil war and reconstruction, industrialization and economic development, civil rights, and modern. So some of those are actually the topics that I gave you, like modern Arkansas, Arkansas today, same thing. We don't have the Clinton years, we do have civil rights. So the thing to do next is to edit this. Don't click continue yet. So I'm just gonna, you see how the cursor is kind of in place there. I'm just gonna click where that cursor is, and I'm gonna type 6 natural geographic, if I can spell right. Okay, then I'm gonna click enter, and it moves prehistoric Arkansas down. So I don't want to call this prehistoric Arkansas. What I do want to say is pre-statehood Arkansas. Okay, now I'm going to say, I'm going to change this one to Louisiana Purchase. So basically, I am taking the information from the guidelines and making it fit the outline. So next we have Civil War and Reconstruction, which is perfect. We have industrialization and economic development. So I'm going to say agriculture, comma, industrialization. Is that right? Agriculture. Okay. And economic development. Then we've got the civil rights movement in Arkansas. Let's put that in here, just so it doesn't throw us into another state. It shouldn't, but you never know because it is artificial intelligence. So we also need the Clinton years. Let's do that. Okay. And then we have Arkansas today, modern. Arkansas means the same thing. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. So now that I've got the outline the way I want it, I'm going to click continue. And then we just watch things happen. So it gives you a preview here. It will give me a dark theme if I want it. I tend to go with the lighter themes because I know some people have to use screen readers or they're using some sort of app to help read the text. So I'm going to use a white background, and then I'm going to click continue. You can scroll here and pick any of these that you like, really. So I just picked this plain one, and I'm going to say continue. So now you're going to see a lot of things pop up. There it is. It's doing its thing automatically. So the problem with this is that you're not going to get all the information that you need. That's where the human work comes in. So you're not allowed to use AI for everything that you do for this project, just for this part of your project. And we'll let it continue working here. See, it's kind of changed its outline on me a little bit. Settlement and growth, you know, that's okay because we can remove things and we can add things. Just let it keep generating. They always leave out Charleston, Fayetteville, and Hoxie integration. There were other integrations before Central High. That always aggravates me. So you'll want to make sure those are included in there. We're almost finished here. Let's see. Okay. So the fun thing about this is that if we were all in a room together and we all put the same information in, it would all look very different. So now we need to edit this thing. Let's go up to the top. Welcome to the fascinating journey of Arkansas, a state known for its breathtaking natural beauty, diverse geography, and a rich history that spans across eras. Okay, that sounds kind of cheesy. You can leave it or you can change it. What I don't like is when it says, join us for this in-depth exploration of Arkansas history, because that makes it sound like you're on a guided tour. That's not what this is. This is a timeline. All right, so you can change pictures if you want to. We will click this. This is an accent image. So I'm going to click edit. And here you can see that the search was for natural beauty. So I'm going to click for Arkansas. See what happens. There we go. We have lots of nature here. Oh, there's a snake. You can load more. You'll see more pop up here. And I'm just going to use this for my background or for my first picture. And then I can just click out of it. And there it is. So now I've got 6 geographic regions of Arkansas, but you notice there are only 4 here. All right, this shows you explore the scenic wonders of the Ozark Mountains, known for its lush forest. Okay, so you got to take that explore the scenic wonders and just start with maybe known for its lush forest, clear streams, and captivating limestone formations, and maybe another fact like Ozark remember we talked about this at the very beginning of the semester, how the Ozark Mountains are really plateaus. So there's that. Experience the unique ecosystem. Okay, you got to take that out and say the Mississippi alluvial plain is home to fertile delta soils and abundance of wildlife. And then another fact would be, I spelled plateau wrong. There we go. Let's see. We might mention something there about the Arkansas River, or we might mention something about the cotton plantations in that area. We've got the Arkansas River Valley. So we've got to take this information out because this sounds like a brochure. Discover the beauty of, yeah, we need information there. We don't need a call to action to tell us to go visit a place. We need information there. So this would need to be edited. The same thing here. Uncover the hidden treasures. No, you don't do that. You take that information out. And then you've got to add the other 2. Another part of this part of the assignment is to feature one of these. Maybe it's the hometown you live in. Maybe it's where, if you're from somewhere else, you're not from Arkansas, then maybe just pick the area that Arkadelphia is in. So which will be the Gulf Coastal Plain region. It's not on here, so you need to add it. To add, you use these little features over here. Let's see, we want to add text. So I'll just click here. Let's do this. Where it says add item, you click there and click another one because we know we have to have 2. So we've got to add the Gulf Coastal Plain, and then Crowley's Ridge. And then you would just down here and then add text. So it's really just as simple as clicking in a box, hitting enter, and then starting to type text. If your text is too small, you can change that by highlighting it. You have options like normal text, small text, or large text. If you want to change this, you can make it bigger by choosing a different heading size, or you could leave it just like it is, either way. So then you'll have your 6 regions of Arkansas. Then you'll go down to pre-statehood. You need the Mississippian cultures, and that's included here as Native American settlements. So that's good, but it doesn't tell us any information about it. It just says, again, that explore ancient cultures. Okay, that's not going to be enough. So you would want to change this text, just click on it, highlight it, and type in new text that relates to the Native American tribes that were in Arkansas. You might kind of go over those 3 basic ones that we talked about early in the semester. Also, you could talk about DeSoto here. He's required. Arkansas Post is also required. And here we have early European settlements. It just doesn't mention Arkansas Post specifically. And again, this language has got to be edited because it's like learn about the expeditions or discover the stories. That stuff has to come out. We're not creating a brochure to introduce people to make them want to come here. We are creating a timeline of information that will be something that you can rely on in the future. Okay, so then Louisiana Purchase to Statehood. So it talks about the Louisiana Purchase, the path to statehood, and the early statehood era. Here you need to feature the Hunter and Dunbar expedition information with 100 words and include when and why the capital moved from Arkansas Post to Little Rock. So to do that, again, you just push a couple more things here to add item, and you can add pictures by clicking here. You can do that through a web search, or one of my fun things to do is to generate images with AI. Let's just see what this does. Wow, that gave us an automatic. Let's just see what comes up. And we'll leave it here just because, you know. Ooh, okay, that's kind of a map. We could leave that anyway, just to show you how it works. You can also search the web like we've been doing. So anyway, so then you would add your feature and the information about why the capital moved from Arkansas Post to Little Rock, and 100-word minimum about each of those things. So you've got a little bit of writing to do there. And when I say 100-word minimum, I'm seriously okay if it's just 100 words. You don't have to write 500 words to be better. Seriously, 100 words is going to be plenty. I'm trying to keep this a little more on the succinct side, so you can look at it as just a base of information in case you have to use it in future classrooms. So then, let's see, settlement and growth. That's one of those things that wasn't included. We jumped from Louisiana Purchase to statehood to Civil War and Reconstruction, but this was thrown in on us. So let's just leave it there for now. Maybe we'll include it in agriculture or business in a minute. So let's just kind of leave there. Here's Civil War. For Civil War, you need to write at least 50 words about the secession conventions, plural conventions, and list of battles in the state, plus 100 words about the battle of your choice. And explain when Reconstruction begins for Arkansas, and then a little about the Brooks-Baxter War. You could technically go in if you wrote, you've got to have a 100-word minimum for it. If you wrote close to that or anything near that, honestly, in your test that asked that question, you could copy and paste it into this area. So I've been clicking these add items. You can enter things other ways. Like if you wanted to make a special call out box, you could pull this over and you drag it and drop it, and then you can type whatever you want to type in here. Anyway, put whatever you want to type in there, or you could just click these like we've been doing. Okay, moving on to agriculture, industrialization, and economic development. Again, we have explore the role of agriculture. So this at least does give you some valuable information, like Arkansas is known for rice, cotton, poultry farming, also soybeans. That's not listed here, but you would want to include soybeans in there as well. Industrialization and manufacturing. you would need to have a little information about that because this is Witness the Rise. You know, this is not a movie trailer, but anyway. Urbanization and infrastructure, how cities like Little Rock transform over time, whatever. Okay, so technically, this information that we skipped over, the settlement and growth, it's okay if you want to leave it. You could take some of this, like maybe I want to take this information and put it down here when we're talking about industrialization and growth. So let's say I put it right there, just copied and pasted it. And then there was another one. Let's get the railroad one. Or that was the railroad one. Let's get the cotton one. There we go. Not going to necessarily mention westward expansion because that's not part of the assignment. So I've got those two. I'm just going to delete this one I don't need. It was an extra that it gave me. So just going to click the three dots and then do delete. And boom, there it goes. Okay, so now I can go back down here. I've got information I would want to add about railroads and cotton. The thing is, this is a timeline, so these things need to be in order. So let's put industrialization and railroads in between here. You literally just click, hold down, and drag. Let's also do the cotton boom because that would go even before then. Let's do that. There we go. Now, if I want to find an image, again, I just click there. This comes up and I can say cotton. And there we go. We can put that there. And if I want a railroad, let's just say train, see what happens. Stop clicking it so much so it'll come out. I probably should have said steam engine. We're going to get these sleek trains, but there's one. Let's just stick it in there. Okay. Again, this text has to be edited so that it doesn't sound like a brochure. Okay, next is the civil rights movement in Arkansas. I've already mentioned to you that, you know, the civil rights movement in Arkansas included way more than just the Little Rock Nine. The Little Rock Nine were important. They played a vital role and they showed a really nasty side of Arkansas to the world, basically. Also, if you haven't heard the Beatles' Blackbird, you should listen to it. Paul McCartney said that they actually saw this on TV, this Little Rock Nine incident unfolding, and they started, it really moved them, and they wrote that song, Blackbird. In England, bird referred to a girl. And so this was a song to this Black girl who was isolated and on her way to school alone with all of these white people who were angry and shouting at her. So anyway, it's kind of a neat story and a neat tie to Arkansas history. We have the Beatles, you know, who actually were moved by this event as well. So it was a dark time in Arkansas history, obviously, but there were other times before that that went really well. So two times that went really well, one time that started off really great and then got kind of flooded with violence and anger and stuff too. And then there was Little Rock. So Little Rock was not the first. Fun fact, Sheridan, Arkansas announced that they were going to integrate like just days after the Brown decision was passed down. However, the school board members started getting death threats, so that changed very quickly. Otherwise, Sheridan, Arkansas schools would have been the first in the former Confederate states to desegregate. Didn't happen that way though. Okay, so here we need to include, let's see, we would just change this to Fayetteville. Change this to, or actually, that should be Charleston. Charleston was first. Then Fayetteville. Then Hoxie. Hoxie is in the Delta, like around the Jonesboro area. And it was the one that went smooth at first and then did not go smoothly at all when outsiders got involved. Okay, so you got that information, but you have to update this. Just a few basic facts. I'm not giving word counts on this because you do have so much to include. Each one needs to have how it was carried out. So when I say in your notes 100-word minimum, that's for this whole section of information about civil rights. Okay, so it's not like 100 for Charleston, 100 for Fayetteville, 100 for Hoxie, 100 for Central High. This is about 100 words for all of them. Just make sure you include dates and a brief sentence or two about each one. Just make sure you get your 100 words total for this section. Okay, then we've got the Clinton years. We've got, makes sense, we would have Bill Clinton's early life. And so that would be his childhood, his family. We don't have anything here about his college though. We do have Hillary Clinton, and we would need to mention Chelsea in here. And his service though, we don't include his service in Arkansas. So that would have to be added, as well as his time as president. So you need to change these and edit those to fit the guidelines. And then modern Arkansas economy, which boom, there it is. Natural resources, which would be outdoor recreation. Cultural vibrancy. Okay, that wasn't included, but it's okay if you want to leave it there. We do have some more though. We need to add education, pre-K through 12, and we need to add higher ed and today's elected officials. And those are just 3 positions, just the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the attorney general. Just those 3 elected positions are all that you have to include. And to do that here, let's see if it will let me add. I don't see the little plus button to add. I see this plus button, but that's to add a card underneath, and I don't want to do that. So let me try this. Let's say I want to, oh, there it is. When I click in it, that's where the little plus button comes in. So I can add rows here and make sure that I have enough for what I need. Anyway, when you're all done, now you're editing this without artificial intelligence. You're the one doing this work. And that saves your credits. So if you get to use this in another class, you have those credits. I love this product, love it a lot. And it's given me an opportunity to try to put together, the reason I use it for you guys is that I know students hate to read, it seems like, but sometimes there are things you just have to read. So I think if I can put it in front of you in blurbs that are this big, it's more likely to be looked at. So that's why I love it so much. But anyway, that's Gamma, and you are welcome to use it for this project. However, you can't use it for the entire project because you've got to edit so much of it. So I wanted you to have this information early so you can start working on it. There's going to be a lot of time that you're going to have to put into this. I will be looking for things like, did you just generate it and leave it? Because this tells me no information. If I'm looking here at the 6 natural geographic regions of Arkansas, yes, those are the regions. But if I see uncover the hidden treasures of the Ouachita Mountains, a region blessed with scenic vistas, hot springs, and recreational opportunities, that doesn't really tell me a lot. Tell me where it is. Tell me how the mountains run, or that they have the little jagged tops instead of the flat tops, like the plateaus of the Ozark Mountains. You know, tell me something, or that they have no vaculite. That would be a great thing to include for the Ouachita Mountains. Give valuable information. This is something that you should be able to hang on to, so that, like I mentioned 100 times already in this video, if you're teaching class, you can pull it out and you can have at least a guide to work from, because you're hitting the high points with this. So anyway, I hope this video helps, and let me know if you have any problems or any questions, especially if you have any problems or questions with Gamma. You do not have to use Gamma. Please do not pay for Gamma. You should be able to use the free version for this and get your 400 credits up front, and that should be more than enough to complete this project. You can use any other kind of program you want. You can make a slide, you can use Word if you want to, and just make a list, whatever you got to do. So totally okay with that. Google Slides, PowerPoint, it all works. Tome does not work though. Don't use Tome because it's not an approved AI. Only Gamma is an approved AI for this project. Let me know if you have any questions.